Hello everyone, nice to meet you. This video will show you the process of info-to-soft VM backup and recovery for VMware platform. Before we start the backup and recovery, we need to add a proxy for the data transmission and add the virtualization host to backup the VM instead. So first step is to go to the resource virtualization. Here we have to add an NP server manager to manage the virtualization status and the VM status. Here we will provide the default credential for this component, the VP account. You can request the password from our support team, and it will bind to the etcd server to manage the status of this server in real time. After addition, we can see the status is online. So next we can add the virtualization. We click the new button. Here we add a VMware platform as example, and we just need to input the name and IP address and the account credential of that. We can finish the addition. Then we can confirm to add that. After addition, we can see the status is online now. Then we can go to add the proxy for the data transmission. We can go to the DR backup resource and node, click the new button to add that. Just input some basic configuration of the proxy client. And bind our console server and the schedule server. Use the username and password to register that. We can see the authentication path, and recommend to keep below settings as default. For the role settings, because we will use that as a proxy for the data transmission, so we select the proxy client and unselect the backup client. Now we can click confirm to add that. Okay, after the addition, we can see the status is online and its role is the proxy client. So now we can start our backup creation. Let's go to the backup and restore, virtualization backup and backup rule. We can click the new to add that. Totally 6 steps here. The first step is to configure the basic parameter for this job. We can configure the job name VMBT1. Then go to step 2. We can choose which host to start the backup and which proxy used for the data transmission. For the virtual machine selection, we can use the auto discovery and VM select. VM select, we need to manually select which host and which virtual machine to be backed up. And if we use the auto disk recovery, we can use the regular expression to filter that. We can see the discovered virtual machine will be listed, and then we can select which storage to store the backup data and which network for the data transmission link. In the step 3, we can configure the backup parameters such as the silent snapshot or the backup data storage format. We can configure them as our want. Step 4, we can configure the schedule. For the schedule, we support the full backup and incremental and also the differential backup. In the time window, we have the backup time window and start time window. For the backup time window, this is a period that allows the backup to execute. The start time window is the time to be allowed to start this job. For the execution plan, we can start this job after creation instantly or as our want, such as monthly, every month, every first day of month. Also, we can configure multiple policies here. Let's create an incremental job here. For the time window, it is same with the full. For the execution, we recommend to use the daily incremental backup. We use every 1 day's strategy here. Then we can go to the step 5. For the compression and encryption could be configured here, and also the bandwidth can be limited here. In the last step, we can confirm the configuration and click the confirm to submit. This job has been created successfully, and its status is the scheduling, which means it will automatically start as we set up. Also, we can manually start a backup for the test. We can start a full backup. We can say it is a success. We can go to the dashboard and backup task to check the job status. We can say this is that. We can click the task details to check that. Okay, now we can see the progress has been finished. We can see the status is changed to the finished. So after the backup done, we can check the backup data in our backup and restore, backup set manage. This is the backup data we just did. After the backup done, we can start to create a restore job for tests. We can click the restore option here. It will automatically jump to the recovery task page. Totally 5 steps here. The first step is to configure the basic parameters, and the step 2 is to select which backup set used for the recovery. Step 3 is to configure the recovery target parameters, the target platform, target data center, and which proxy used for the data transmission, and which host to restore to. We can configure its general settings such as the CPU number and the core number, and also the memory can be set up. And also, if we have multiple disks here, we can configure them one by one. We can recommend to use the consistent with source disk option. For the restore options, here generally recommend to use the default value, or you can change them as your actual scenario. In step 4, we can configure the compression and encryption, and also the bandwidth limitation. In the last step, we can confirm the configuration and submit that. This job status will be start after the creation, and it will automatically start. We can say the status is executing now. We can go to the dashboard and the backup task page to check its status. After the job finished, we can check the progress has been changed to the 100%, and the status is finished. So next step, we can access the VMware platform to check the virtual machine details. We can see the date is the same with our config just before. Let's power on and check the status of this virtual machine. Okay, with the same credential, like the source virtual machine, we can access that, and the IP address will be kept in this machine. This is the whole process of the recovery. Thanks for your watching.